Hi everybody, it's Paige. This is Almost GLP-1. I want to do an update. I just got back from a 2-week vacation and I did a weigh-in, so I've got those numbers at the end of the video. Spoiler alert, I did lose some weight. I'll talk about how much at the end of the video, but I also wanted to talk about the vacation itself and how it's been going generally. It's been a long time since we've taken any time off. My husband's birthday and our wedding anniversary are around the same time. So he was able to take some time off and we were able to go on 2 trips to celebrate both. The first was a couple days up to Seattle. The second was a couple days out to the Oregon coast. We actually stayed in Lincoln City because we were able to get a really good deal on a hotel room there. And I was not a perfect baby angel on this trip, I tell you what. What I kind of do is GLP-1 without the shot. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get about 100 grams of protein a day, 25 grams of fiber, and I try to keep my calories between 1,200 and 1,800 calories. So this means I'm very protein focused and very fiber focused. And while I'm doing that, I also do a thing where I intermittent fast. So for me, typically I don't eat until 4 p.m. Kind of do like a 6-hour feed window, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. On vacation, we did not stick to that the entire time. One of the things we did was we went to Pike Place, a place called Bagel Bop. They claim to have the best bagels in Seattle, and there's some really tasty bagels. What I got was something called Seattle's Best ELT, eggs, lox, and tomatoes. I do not know how many calories were in it. I will say I ate it and it sat like a brick in my stomach because I am not used to eating breakfast. It's been some months since I've done that. When you get out of that habit, your body's kind of like, what is going on? Gets very confused. Justin and I walked all around Pike Place that day. So it looks like we walked 2.34 miles. We were there right when the market first opened up, but before everything is open. So really just a few things like the breakfast place are open. And we walked all around and watched all the vendors come in, truck in their inventory, get ready for the day. It was really cool, and we walked nearly 2.5 miles. So that helped a little bit with the bagel. And then after that, we did a whale watch, which was really fun. And so what we did on the whale watch, that was like a 4-hour situation. It was really cool. We saw orca, we saw lots of sea lions and seals. We saw a lot of wildlife. What we did there is Justin had gotten me like a blueberry crumble because I love blueberries. He had ordered it before for me to have aboard, and he got me this little whale watching mug for the tour. And the mug came with a free refill. And I was gonna get coffee, but by the time we actually got it filled, it was a little late in the day. I was gonna be up, so we put some apple cider in it because Justin also likes apple cider. So we stood on the catamaran and we were splitting this blueberry crumble and the apple cider, and we just had that between the two of us. So that was pretty good. That felt very luxurious because we don't eat lunch. And then after we were done there, we went back to our hotel and we found like this little Thai place. I'll tell you what we did there. That was really interesting, our strategy for that. Because part of it is we want to learn like real world portion control and portion training outside of our laboratory of the things that we've only weighed and measured. So what we did with this Thai place is we got double protein on both of our meals. I got shrimp and chicken. So nice lean proteins that I like. And then I ate all of the meat and all the veggies first to make sure I prioritized that. And I was eating very, very slowly. And at the end, I just had a little bit of the rice. I didn't eat most of my rice, but I was really full. That worked out really, really well. So that's a really good example of what we did on vacation. And then when we went to the coast, we had a really nice hotel room. We focused there on going for walks. When Justin booked the hotels, he picked restaurants that we could walk to. So we walked to and from dinner, which helped a lot. On the coast, we did a lot of beach walking and tide pooling, and we focused a lot on that. We kind of bustled around towns and stuff. So we actually got quite a few steps, which helped a lot. Okay, so I actually have 2 weigh-ins. It's a secret here. So I hadn't weighed for a little while. So as I mentioned before, my starting weight July 1st, before all of this, was 355 pounds. Prior to this, my last weigh-in, September 19th, was 306 pounds, okay? So I weighed myself Friday, October 17th, and I went from 306 pounds to 302 pounds. Now, that's a 4-week period, but I went on vacation. And while I was on vacation, I wasn't a sweet baby angel the whole time. I did have some drinks, some adult beverages, which I had not had in a long time. I had some junk food. I had a good time. We celebrated, so I feel pretty good about that. And not only that, but on the scale, which I have one of those body composition scales, it says that my lean muscle mass went up yet again, and my bone density also went up. So what I am losing is actual fat. It isn't like I'm losing muscle weight. And in fact, it says my BMR is going up based on my lean mass. So my resting metabolism is going up as I'm losing weight. So this should be very sustainable. Something else to note. So that day that I weighed, Friday, October 17th, was actually the day after I had my wisdom tooth out. I had my wisdom tooth out, last week as I'm talking to you. It actually is still kind of sore, but I digress. So I weighed 302 pounds. I am filming this on Monday, and so it's just a few days, like 3 days later, and I had a suspicion because I was under twilight anesthesia for my wisdom teeth and I was really swollen. My jaw was all swollen, and I hadn't slept very well the night before because I had been sleeping upright on the couch instead of in the bed, trying to keep everything elevated like my surgeon said to. And so I said, well, you know what, I'm going to weigh on Monday and see, is there any swelling involved? And I did weigh this morning and I'm down to 301 pounds. So 5 pounds lost in about a month. Feeling really good about that. It's been a challenge the last few days. I won't lie. I have been on some pretty serious food restrictions the last few days where I've been, protein drinks, and right now I'm on pureed foods, and I have some more dental work tomorrow to come. So the next week is going to be really challenging. I have found some interesting stuff that works for me. None of it is terribly photogenic though, I'll warn you. So like for last night for dinner, since I can kind of do some fish now after the first 3 days, I can start doing a little bit of soft protein. I have these mahi-mahi burgers from Trader Joe's that are really high protein, lean protein. Justin was making something for himself on the grill last night, so I had him throw it on the grill for me, and I broke it up really small with my fork. And I mixed it up with one of those guac minis, the guacamole minis, and I had that with some refried beans, kind of like a pureed sad fish taco. And that was pretty good as far as like high protein, high fiber. It was very filling. It was really exciting to me after days of like pureed soups and liquid protein shakes. So it's not the most photogenic meal in the world. I snapped a very disgusting looking photo of it that I can show you guys. But yeah, so definitely I'm kind of learning to do menus. I think every time we went out to dinner, we boxed half of it and we brought it back to our hotel room. We didn't end up eating a lot of it. It's interesting now that we've been doing all the calorie counting and tracking, and we've done some factory meals and stuff, just how we're getting portion controlled and how our sense of what is the right amount is changing. It was good. It was a really good test. Yeah, really good week. Lost 5 pounds. Over a month, but I was on vacation. So that brings the total lost to 54 pounds. And I'm feeling really good about that. I'm gonna try to start documenting more of what I'm eating. It should be an interesting week because I'm still on pureed food. I think the biggest challenge so far, as I'm going out there in the bigger, wider world, isn't actually the protein or the calorie part of my diet. The biggest challenge is the fiber. Restaurants are not selling fibrous foods, and I know part of it is that they just don't sell as well. They're not as sexy, I guess, but I think that's the real struggle. So if I were in a situation where I had to travel a lot or be on the road a lot for work, I think what I would do is pack the high fiber tortillas and possibly buns. Right now, a couple products really into are the Mission low carb tortillas. They're really high in fiber. Also, the keto buns are really good. They're low in calorie, high in fiber. So if I were on the go a lot, I probably would just have some buns in the car, as weird as that might sound, or at least tortillas, just to wrap things up, to even have on the side, because frankly, I think it would be hard if you were traveling and eating out all the time to get your fiber otherwise. The tortillas are really nice because you don't have to worry about smushing them. So I could see, having some in your suitcase or, in the car or whatever if you were traveling a lot and going out to eat a lot, just because it's hard to get that fiber. Been a good week. I have had a lot of success without the shot, so we'll see. We'll see if it holds up. Anyway, it's been great talking to you as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.